we will have to check one thing. If the buffer doesn't have anything in it, we have to quit. So buffers, if there's no size, if there's no size, return. Otherwise, start going. Buffer index and buffer sample index. Okay. Yeah. So one thing we do have to check so inbuff what was it called? Let's look at input manager, because there's an example of how the input buffers values are used. Calculate the power right here. So buffer mdata. Buffer mdata is a void star. So what I will do is, here I will do, instead of that, sint 16 buffers buffer index buffer mdata. Okay, it's a little bit, that'll help things out a lot here. Because all I want to do is this. Buffer sample index times 2, because they're stereo interleaved. Oops. Okay. And here we just add a +1. Yeah. And then we increment buffer sample index instead of having phase. Buffer sample index is kind of long to type. So that equals +1. Then we also have to check index, if that's greater than that happens to be greater than this, damn it, it doesn't list how many frames it has. So we have to calculate it, which is a little messy. But looks like that. Instead of having that, we just have buffers. We just have this code. Okay. Buffer index, buffer. No. Number frames. Yeah. Once we get past that, then we have to set buffer sample index to 0 and increment the buffer index. We also have to check, lastly, that buffer index is less than what was that called? Buffers dot size. Does it count? I don't think so. Size. And if it is, then you have to break. And this actually is what we want instead of the check for 0 size. And there should be some other call that checks the lifetime of the sound. And once we hit that, we know that no lifetime set here. That's interesting. I wonder how it knows when to terminate. Let's look at filter sound. Samples till start, samples remaining. Okay, there must be some other call that gets start set. Should be removed is essentially what we can override. Yeah. So all we have to do is do this. Once it's done playing. Yep. So this is starting to look like a real good class. Let's try and compile. No chance that this will compile. Vector not found in micentity.h. Show me micentity.h. Okay, is it being included from an MM file? From an M file? What was being compiled exactly? GameState.m. I could see why that's a problem. So we're going to have to convert GameState to MM. So that's a lot of stuff. Assigning noise block. Okay, now game state is acting up. So it looks like C++ enables, when you do Objective-C++, there's more type checking than in the just Objective-C default. It might be a completely different compiler for all I know. Is other a noise block? That wouldn't be good. Yeah, it is. No. Game state.mm noise block. So this should be filter entity. It looks like it is doing stricter type checking based on classes. And that's not surprising, since that's a C++ thing. Okay, so that fixed those errors. Now mic entity is blowing up. Wish it would automatically just go here. Definition of input buffer conflicts with type def of same name. Yes, that could be an issue. This is in Input Manager. Yeah, this is an issue. No, that's not the issue. It happens. Oops, mic entity. Yeah? Yeah, mic entity. H. Struct input buffer. Now this should be okay, it's a forward declaration. Maybe it's already handled in one of the above includes. I don't know. Let's try taking it out. Okay, that handled that one. Now GameState.mm still has some issues, so let's go back to that. First issue is in line 15. Oh no.